What I'm up though, guys? It is your favorite auditor, Audit Them, the one who encourages you to audit them. We're just gonna wait for a few people to get in here. Just gonna do a general publication here about a situation here that I'm battling. There's an active warrant against this insane stalker, and I'm going to show proof of everything on the screen now. While this lunatic is going to cost so many people so much money in legal fees. Just confirm that you hear the audio. Hey, hidden comment, what's going on? Hidden comment. This is a lunatic who is in violation of court order, stalking court order. He failed. He had court today. He was summoned to appear in person today, which he failed to do so. He had actually two appearances. Allegedly, he showed up to the civil appearance and he did not show up to the criminal appearance. I'm going to show proof that there's a warrant against him. I'm going to show proof that I was indeed have an order today as well for the civil hearing. We're going to go over a few things here. In the end, I'm just making a message out there to say to the world that stalking is not okay. This person is a stalker, aggravated stalker who cannot control himself. The person that you see on the screen here is actually an insane danger to society who is suicidal, and I'm going to bring evidence. The person that you're seeing on the screen is a danger to society with a cache of weapons who is going to harm himself or is going to harm others, and he's not even aware that he's going to have to surrender his weapons. There's nothing stopping this individual but himself. He's bringing this harm towards himself, and that's why there's going to be legal consequences for his actions. And what I'm going to teach when it's done and over with is I'm going to teach his followers a lesson, because they are encouraging his suicidal tendencies and they are encouraging his stalker predator type of behavior. So what we're going to be looking at, Rhonda says perfect. Yeah, oh yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, because the world should not tolerate sick predators like the individual you see on the screen who has a warrant against him. Let's put that on the screen now. Instead, this man, the stalker that you see on the screen, wants to continue to mislead his audience. It's going to cost them so much money in legal fees, because now that this stalker has a warrant against him and criminal charges against him, the people that are aiding and abetting his criminal activity are going to have to pay for that, and his inability to cease and desist and follow court order just got him a warrant for arrest. Now let's check this out. And believe me, guys, when this is all done and over with, I'm going to show you everything this person is capable of doing, the harm that he has committed already, and the harm that he thinks he's going to continue to do. Remember, the person we're looking at the screen right now, when he's arrested and charged for misdemeanor, his This guy's insane. He cannot control himself. He's gonna find himself catching additional charges, which are gonna bump up to a felony. He's gonna have to surrender his weapons. Now, I'm gonna pull documents on the screen very soon and show you what I'm talking about here. By the time it's all done and over with, this individual is a former government official who the school that he worked for is going to have to take his blame. It's basically the guy that you see on the screen. He encourages suicide. He encourages rape of women, innocent women. This is the individual, if you guys don't know a little background history, is that when this person initiated himself into my business 4 years ago, I saw his name on his Twitter channel. I looked up his name, David Coulter, in Ohio, as he is from Ohio, and I find out that David Coulter is a pedophile, is a rapist who raped his daughter. So I wanted to question this guy. I didn't think it's the same guy, but when I asked this stalker on the screen 4 years ago if he was that pedophile, he told me, where did I get the information from? I said I looked him up on a peoplefinder.com, and I insisted that this David Coulter is not the pedophile. I thought it wasn't the same guy. But instead, this individual that you see on the screen, here, kept insisting that if I don't have paperwork from the FBI, then he may still be that pedophile who did 10 years in jail that raped his daughter. So basically, I was under good faith saying, I don't think that's the same David, I don't think that's the same David Coulter. And instead, this guy insisted that he might be that pedophile. And because of that, he wanted to show himself off for 4 years straight in a row to show off how much of a predator he is, how he cannot stop dragging my mother and my sister into the mix. And that's why he's facing criminal charges now. That's why there's a, hey, King Charles, how's it going? Finally, right? That's why there's an arrest warrant against this psychopath, because he has an inability to control himself. He's going to be in a world of unsureness. So it's so amazing how strong of a deceiver he is and how he can continue to deceive his followers, which is a good thing. It's a great thing, because they're going to have to pay money for aiding and abetting this psychopath, this lunatic. Now, why me as good faith would say, I don't think you are the pedophile, David Coulter? Why would he himself insist that that might still be him? But that's out of the question. I'm just giving you a little backstory that if you search right now, David Coulter 2008 rape, Ohio, you'll see that David Coulter is a convicted rapist who did 10 years for raping his own daughter. The man that you see on the screen here, his name is the same exact name, David Coulter. They come from the Coulter family, right? So again, he's the one who insisted that he may be the pedophile. After 4 years ago, I put a good faith effort to try to dispute that about the man, right? I don't go out of my way to try to disrespect people, but this stalker has been harassing and stalking so many people in the auditing community and thinking he's going to get away with it. When we say stalking, what type of stalking? He admits to harassing, using women to harass his target. So basically, he said out of his own words that he's harassing me by targeting my mother and my sister. So obviously, the courts found these things to be true and used it against his own mouth. I mean, the court right now is aware that this is not a First Amendment speech. This guy is contacting me non-stop. He keeps calling my phone. Even the court order is telling him that third parties, his friends or his followers, are contacting me on his behalf, which the court is aware of additional charges that he's going to face because of his followers' actions. So now we're going to put documents on the screen now. I'm going to show you it all right now. Give me a second here. This individual that you see on the screen here, this is a sick and demented, evil person. The other day, he says a statement that we need to push him in the lake and hold him in there. He made that statement out of his own mouth while there's an active court order against him and an arrest warrant. He goes further to say statements out of his mouth commending one of his co-conspirators, to continue to send me lewd emails. Lewd, which is sexual crimes, right? I'm aware of the individual. Chucky, no, he did not appear. Chucky, I'm gonna put it on the screen now. There was 2 hearings. He appeared allegedly to the civil hearing at 11 a.m., but he did not appear to the criminal hearing at 9 a.m. So check this out. He said in his own mouth, which I provided evidence to the court, like this guy is such a nut job. He cannot control himself. He said that he reviewed the paperwork where he got served by the sheriff to appear on July 2nd. He puts that order on the screen and shows it to his followers and informs his followers that yes, he has a criminal hearing, and he reads it in his own mouth. It's a misdemeanor charge punishable by up to 365 days for violation of a stalker contact order. So what does he say? He says the name of the judge by name. He disrespects the judge, and he says to kiss his ass all along while showing the summons. Here it is. Let me show you the summons on the screen. I mean, this guy is out of touch of reality, man. And you know what? Here's the good part. Oh, fuck. Here's the good part. Here's the good part is that the good part is that the good part is that he's basically he's encouraging a society of stalkers. He's encouraging a platform of criminals that are incriminating themselves and that are going to have to answer for these crimes that they are doing. So now check this out. Check this paperwork out here. Let's see. Let me put this bad boy on the screen here. Okay. So here is the criminal summons that he himself showed on the screen. This is summon all police in the state of Illinois, if they find him, to arrest him, right? He was supposed to be here in person in the city of Chicago, July 2nd at 9 a.m. I mean, this guy is such out of touch with reality that he showed this own document on the screen. He showed this document on the screen, and he disrespected the court instead of showing up. So now he's finding himself with an arrest warrant. Watch this. Yeah, Yo Eldro is saying these anti-auditor clowns are always liars. Listen, this guy, he's in a different world. This guy, I believe something is medically off with him, and he should not have a single weapon in his hands. His weapons are going to get taken. He's going to have to surrender his weapons. That's the first start, because I'm going to show you evidence that this individual makes suicidal remarks about himself and how he's trying to cause his target to have heart attacks. It's just all over. This guy's all over the place. Here is criminal complaint. It's the people of the state of Illinois versus Coulter. And since he didn't show up, let's pull this next item on the screen here. I mean, this guy cannot control himself. If he should do himself a favor, is he should seek legal counsel, a professional that would really help him out, because the attorneys that he has now, they don't care about him. They just want his money. And I've been in the courts already for many things. Check this out. Check this out. Yeah, Urad, I showed up. I had 2 cases today. I had a civil and a criminal on behalf of the stalker here. Check this out. All right. So I was in the other room at the criminal side, and I informed the deputy sheriff that I was across the hall, and the judge by accident thought I did not appear for the civil case, but she straightened that out for me. So what do you think this stalker does? Is he goes and further lies to his audience and tells them that they dismiss the case. That's far from the truth, because he talks while I show you court documents, and I'm going to show you how he's going to be charged criminally. So now let's check this out. Here, the judge writes in the bottom of the order is that, yes, I was here, I was in place, and that the motion that I put in for rule to show cause will be heard. It's not stricken, right? There was a little misunderstanding in the courtroom, that's all. Now, let's check this guy being on a warrant. Here's an email from the state's attorney. I see that a warrant was issued for your case. That means if the defendant, being that psychopath that you see on the thumbnail, comes back into the state, he can immediately be arrested and brought into court, whether or not the OP was served. He is served on the OP, and he is served on criminal, because the state is already aware of that. The state's attorney's office cannot do anything to expedite service of the OP. Only the Lake County Sheriff's Office, which I'm in touch with them as well, or process server in Lake County. If the defendant is arrested, we will contact you ASAP. Please keep us informed. So here's the deal. This guy now is in the NCIC system and in the lead system. The minute this guy goes on a live stream like he usually does and says that he has firearms in his car and is saying that he doesn't want to get pulled over by police, The minute police pull him over, they have a duty to immediately arrest him. This guy cannot turn his back any longer because he failed to appear today for a criminal hearing. He had two hearings. Allegedly, he only appeared for the civil hearing, and again, he's so confused and he's in his own world that he doesn't know what's going on. And nobody of his followers are going to be able to get him out of this. As a matter of fact, he's turning his followers into criminals. Because guess what? I'm going after already, and it's already in place, a few of his followers. So now look at this guy. He says, yeah, the Second Amendment is our basic right. However, Mr. T, is that, yes, you have a Second Amendment, but when you become a stalker like this psychopath on the screen, and the court is aware that this individual is constantly threatening with weapons. He just said the other day that what he does when he's mad is he sits in a dark room and racks his slide. This is the individual that went on a live stream and said that he threatened another YouTuber with an AK-47. This individual would go on a live stream and speak about these guns day in and day out, threatening people. So I mean, listen, all he could do really is just govern himself accordingly. Nobody could tell him to do nothing. But here's the real deal. Each and every single time, and this is what he's not aware of, this is why I have been so quiet and I don't discuss these things. I just move in silence. But he's not even aware that he's facing multiple counts each and every time he threatens against the protected party. That's an additional count. So check this out. He will continue to threaten on his live streams. He will continue to open up his sick mouth. And the DAs are watching him, and he's under investigation for this stuff. Because we are going to point and pin him out as the one who said that he wanted to murder his targets. I know of a few auditors that receive sick comments like that. Real sick comments, deadly comments. On top of this individual is potentially facing a two-party consent because 3 individuals that I'm aware of, he called them on a live stream. He recorded them without their consent, and he harassed 3 individuals in the state of Illinois, right? I'm one of the persons. He contacted me and he put me on a live stream without my permission. That's a felony in Illinois. That's two-party consent. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying here is this man has an arrest warrant against him, and it's just going to go downhill for him. He's gonna find himself in felony charges. I mean, this guy's attorney really doesn't care about this guy. It's so funny that he's just taking money from him. And I'll tell you why. Because his attorney made him file an affidavit. David admitted to personally being served by a sheriff on the initial stalking case. So this guy David had 2 months in advance to show up to his initial hearing, 60 days in advance after being served. And he's trying to convince the courts that he didn't show because he didn't have Zoom information, even though the judge denied his motion the first time and told him the Zoom information is online. You had 60 days to find this. You were served. So what this psychopath really thinks in his mind is that these criminal charges are going to go away and the original stalker case is going to go away. This is what he believes. He is aware that there's a stalking case against him. Check this out. Check this out. Check this out. Check this out. I mean, you have to be an insane individual to keep doing the same thing expecting for a different result. Here's what his people are going to be associated with. They are aiding and abetting an aggravated stalker. And here's aggravated stalking is a felony. Aggravated, that's another count. So here's the order. Let's first look at the order. Right? The court wrote this order out themselves. They said no contact by any means through third parties. It's telling this individual not to contact me, him or his third parties. His third party continue to contact me, which is direct blame for him. So his followers are getting more criminal charges on him because his followers keep stalking. They keep contacting me. When someone contacts you, that's not free speech. That's considered harassment. So it's telling this individual not to post, publish, or anything of that nature. He read this order numerous times, and he's still violating the order because this guy is like, he cannot control himself, right? And we're going to prove all this stuff. It's just a good thing that it's a wonderful thing, actually, because now my credibility has skyrocketed through the roof. And when I individually sue his followers, his followers are going to be known for a criminal organization because they're organizing criminal intent. When these individuals organize a criminal intent, this makes them part of a criminal organization. So now there's an active arrest warrant against this stalker, and his followers will continue to aid and abet criminal activity, which would give me the full credibility to bring criminal charges on his followers, subpoena his followers. Not only that, identify his followers and drag them into the court. So I promise you guys, I'm handling all this like a professional. A content creator cannot control their subscribers. You're telling me this content creator cannot control himself. If he controls himself, which he has no brains to do so, that's why he has an arrest warrant against himself, which is wonderful. If he controls himself and he ceases from that activity and abides by the court like a normal person, he's acting like a criminal, he's a criminal. If he ceased and desist and all he had to do was follow the order by the court judge, he would not find himself in this position, and he will not give himself a platform to create additional criminals, because that's what he has done for us, is he has created additional criminals that aided and abetted him and now are going to face consequences because my credibility now is shot through the roof with charges on these people. Now, the next thing, this insane psychopath is claiming that he wants to try to figure out how much resources were spent on a phone call to the police to inform him that he said out of his own mouth he had an AK-47, a 9mm, and an H&K, and he's saying that I did a wellness check on him. That's false. That is completely false. The police, his DAs and all of them, and this court that I'm in right now are going to straighten those allegations out. He's not aware of what he does or what he's doing. And in the end, this is all I'm saying here, guys. This is all I'm saying, is that This is all I'm saying here is that this guy, this stalker, is going to cost many people potential criminal charges and legal fees. And I'm going to guarantee you on that, there's going to be, on the bare minimum, proof of the criminals who follow him, who have incriminated themselves in the comment section, and they're going to be known to the public that they are part of a group. He's basically part of a group that tries to cause his targets death by means of heart attack. Why would I say this? Because he's a sick predator. Every single day, his goal is to piss off his target because it causes his target chest pains. So just imagine this sick psychopath targets someone else besides me. I'm so strong enough to fight through this through the courts and hold this person accountable. So just imagine if this individual, if we live in a society to allow sick people like him and his crew to try to push folks to a fatal heart attack by which they try to stress their target out by harassing family members, by publishing harassing and lewd emails on a daily basis. This guy cannot control himself. I'm just letting you guys know, man, that it's going to be real ugly for so many people that are aiding and abetting this psychopath. This is not a society that we're going to tolerate these evil people. This individual is a criminal. He has a warrant against him. He is suicidal. I'm going to show you evidence when it's all done and over with. The evidence that I'm going to bring to the table of how this individual is a stalker, it's to educate and to teach our children's children of how to handle these type of situation and to never go back and forth with psychopaths like this. By the time it's done and over with, you're going to see evidence of what this person, the harassment that this person does on the 1st of the month, the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, the 11th, the 12th, the 13th, the 14th, the 15th, the 16th, the 17th, the 18th, the 19th, the 20th day, the 21st day, the 22nd day, the 23rd day, the 24th, the 25th, the 26th, the 27th, the 28th. Basically, what I'm saying here is this individual conducted a 4-year campaign of harassment, aggravated harassment, and these mentions that I'm mentioning consists of things that a stalker would do and say. This stalker, the courts are aware of him claiming that he wants to install a ring camera so he could monitor and watch me walk in and out on a daily basis. This is what he said a few days ago that the court is aware of. How can somebody in their right mind, which he's not right, how can somebody have a court order against them and then continue to say that he wants to further stalk by surveil? You know what I'm saying? My mother, she is a cancer survivor. If only you guys see the type of sick things this guy is threatening my mother. I can't do nothing to this individual. He's an elderly man. If this was the streets, you can't fight violence because you would go to jail. I can't do nothing to him because he sits in his little chair in his room in the dark, as his own words. When he gets pissed, he sits in the dark and he plays with his guns. He shoots off weapons when he's pissed. So I can't do nothing to him. He's in a different state. What I could do is go after his followers that aided and abetted him once he is held accountable. because there's an active warrant against him right now. And like I said, that is all coming. And we're just going to show society that we're not going to tolerate sick predators like this individual who goes out of his way to try to cause heart attack towards people who don't want to have anything to do with him. You know, um, Y-Rod is saying, confront him in court. Well, no, you see, the thing is that court is not for confronting psychopaths. Court is for two parties to be heard. And this individual had the opportunity to be heard already. He was heard, he was denied. He tried informing the judge that he was not able to appear because Zoom information 60 days after the fact, which somehow he was able to appear after the fact. So his story does not make sense. The real reason why he did not appear at the beginning is because I have evidence of everything. The reason why he didn't appear at the very beginning is because I served him with a sheriff. Twice I served him. The sheriff knocked on his door and served him. After being served by the sheriff in Ohio, he went on a live stream telling his audience that I served him with a fake lawsuit. So think about this guy's credibility and how something is wrong with him. He got served by a sheriff, and he still claimed that it was a fake lawsuit, and that's the reason why he did not appear in the first place. So now he's in a whole world of a different thing now. He goes on a live stream the other day saying that he's actively selling his weapons because now he needs to make money for a criminal lawyer, right? So he's selling weapons outside of a building where there's a sign that says no weapons allowed. So think about all these agencies that are watching him right now. He has a warrant against him for criminal charges. He has a rule to show cause in a civil case for why he violated the order in the first place. He's actively threatening the protected party on a daily basis, right, with bodily harm. His mention is he wants to push the protected party in the lake and hold him in there. This is fucking psychopath. Words of a devil. So with that being said, with this type of rhetoric, moving forward, every single day he goes in live stream and he violates the order, the agencies are keeping track of this, and every time he violates an additional it's an additional count, basically an additional count. Now that's really all about it. It's like he's gonna end up with his type of behavior. He thinks he's untouchable. That's not gonna last for very long. When it's done and over with, the pictures of his supporters are going to be on a bulletin that's going to say, these are the individuals that were aiding and abetting a criminal stalker, and this is a case study on these sick individuals. Here's their name. Here's their information. Here's their face. And here's their comment. For example, I'll give you an example. This sick stalker, he puts up a picture of my sister when she was about 13 years old, a minor. He says he went on the Wayback website and located a picture of my sister when she was 14 years old. What does my sister have to do with this? What does my mother have to do with this? Right? It's just going to get him in a lot of heat. So he puts up a picture of my sister. He goes on the Wayback Machine, but he's trying to convince the court that in 60 days he cannot find a Zoom hearing online. So his credibility is that he will go on a Wayback Machine to find a picture of my sister, a minor, when she was 14 years old, 13. He has the capability of doing that, but he does not have the capability of 60 days to find Zoom, which the judge shut him down. So here's what we're saying here is that he puts up a picture of my sister when she was 14 years old, and two of his followers, which I have screenshots of, one of them said, I wouldn't mind buttering up that muffin, knowing that she's a minor in that photo. So the guy that said, I wouldn't mind buttering up that muffin, I find out that he is a criminal and there's a mugshot about him for retail theft for a petty offense. So that's one guy that said that about my sister, because this sick psychopath posted a picture of my sister while there's an order against him forbidding him. So now there's another guy named Harlow who said something, oh, I would like to tune her up in the back seat of a car. So here you have two predators saying sexual things about a 14-year-old girl, while that picture of the 14-year-old girl is published by this psychopath on the screen, while there's an active court order forbidding him to continue the stalking. Now, we have to look back. Why would this sick predator that you see on the screen post a picture of a 14-year-old girl, my sister? Is because out of his own words, he uses my sister to harass me. Well, if he admits that he's harassing me, that throws the free speech thing out of the window. This guy is like, he's openly speaking about criminal intent and thinking his white, privilege card or whatever he thinks is going to stop him. He thinks he could wave around weapons and threaten people with guns all day, every day. So here's what's coming down the pike. Those two individuals that made sexual remarks against a minor, I have their pictures, I have their name, I have their city, I have their state, I have all their detail. You guys are going to know who they are. You're going to know, here's a picture of these two individuals saying that they want to have sexual intercourse with a minor because of their leader. This guy on the screen is encouraging this type of sick behavior. So here you got a clown like T-Bone coming in here. T-Bone, here's what I'm going to do for you. Since you like following this stalker and you think it's normal, T-Bone, I'm going to extract all your comments that you left behind in the past 4 years, because I developed software like that. And if I find out, T-Bone, that you have engaged with criminal behavior, aiding and abetting this psychopath on the screen, then T-Bone, thank you for giving me your picture, because I'm going to include your picture for the world to know that you are aiding and abetting a sick society like this criminal that you see on the screen, who encourages rape of innocent women, encourages pedophilia. He laughs at pedophilia. An individual who encourages trying to push his target over the edge towards death, heart attack by means of harassment, you name it, contacting, doxing, stalking. I mean, I'm not going to I'm not going to let this stuff go until I hold these people to the fullest extent of the law. Even though I might make this one live stream today, you might not hear this stuff for the next couple weeks. This individual cannot control himself. He will continue to deceive his people. We're going to just use that against him and them, because he's going to continue to provide a platform for his audience to incriminate themselves. I'm going to capture their comments and I'm going to drag them into the court. The court is going to be known that his followers are aiding and abetting and assisting to a sick fucking society with these people. It's a sick society with these people. I mean, if you look at this guy's history, this guy has terrorized so many people on social media behind his computer. He targeted so many families. He disrespected so many people. He costed many people their jobs, many auditors their jobs. He states it's his goal to try to get First Amendment auditors jailed. He says it's his goal to try to cause me a fatal heart attack. I mean, what's wrong with these people? What's wrong with these people, right? In the end, I got to fight this the professional way. I have been fighting it the professional way, just sitting back, gathering the evidence that I need. Because once this guy finally goes down, right, criminally, you're going to see what's going to happen next with his followers. Is that they're going to be documented. They're all going to be documented. And we're not going to tolerate that stuff, man. We don't tolerate these sick, evil culture that this individual has. It's a sick, evil culture. And it's causing so many people harm for no good reason at all. I spent so much money going back and forth in this court stuff. I have all these documents on the receipt, right? At this point right now, I'm looking at hate crimes, which is a felony. I'm looking at aggravated stalking, which is a felony. Aggravated stalking is when you stalk somebody, when you continue to stalk someone while there's a court order in place, right? So there is a court order in place, and this person continues to violate that court order. That's a felony. That's called aggravated stalking. So we're looking at aggravated stalking. We're looking at witness intimidation, which is a felony, could be up to 20 years, right? When you say witness intimidation, this individual will go on his live stream and start showing court documents and misrepresenting court documents to further threaten the protected party. This is he's not a normal individual. And the fact that his followers think what he's doing is normal, or as a matter of fact, his followers are aiding and abetting. Basically, in other words, his followers are attempting to help him cause his targets heart attacks by harassment and threats and jail. He said his goal was, his mission in life is to try to make J-Town Press, an auditor, go to jail. So he wants him and his followers to continuously contact the district attorney to try to get these auditors in trouble. Well, what about this? What about tomorrow if I finally start showing the faces of the people who are aiding and abetting his criminal activity, and if we begin a campaign pushing for his, we're not even going to say that, because I don't do what he does. I move in silence, right? I move in silence. It's just starting that these people don't even know what they're associated with. Because here's the real deal. A lot of his followers, from a little statistics that I do, a lot of them are handicapped, right? They're handicapped, meaning their legs are no good shape. They're of age. You know, a lot of them are elderly as well. But even the handicap could do criminal things on a keyboard, because a handicap could sit in a chair and still continue to harass individuals over the phone. So, being that his followers, a lot of them are handicapped and of elderly age, some of them are grandparents that are doing criminal actions. So, these alleged followers that he has, they're going to be known as parents and or grandparents that are part of a stalker society. And here's all their comments that they left behind, because I'm going to expose it all. I'm going to show you that his followers are wishing for death on people. His followers are wishing for rape on people. His followers are contacting and harassing people. And his followers, you guys don't know who they are. I know who his followers are. I know them by name. I know them by face. I know them by address. I know them by business. And I know some of them by that they work for government. There is some that I'm not sure of who they are, but now my credibility shot through the roof that through the courts, I'm going to find out who they are. So here's what we're saying here. It's now that we know a lot of these folks are, some of them are sick, elderly I mean, for that age, why would somebody your age do this type of sick behavior? But the problem is, these alleged grandparent trolls, or whatever your age is, your family and your work, they don't know about you. So by the time by the time it's done and over with, this individual that you see on the screen is going to cost the jobs and potential criminal charges, and just a documentary of sick society of fucking predators. It's going to be all based off of this guy. For example, if you guys go to Georgia Transparency channel, you see Georgia Transparency, he's exposing a lot of these where he found criminal similar. Here's, you know, it'll be a black chart, but the thing is that these people that follow him, they're not going to be able to dispute any of my allegations, because I have developed software to extract all the comments they left behind. So we're going to prove that these are sick, demented individuals that should be and have to be put on notice for the world to see. This psychopath's platform is an evil platform that's going to come to an end. It's a criminal platform. It's a sick platform. Every single video he puts up of a different auditor, he laughs like an evil, sick psychopath while they're getting beat up or pushed around, or their phone snatched or tased or arrested. He loves seeing auditors get assaulted for recording in the street. So that's a term of service violation with YouTube. It says you're not supposed to cherish violence. That's what his channel and his people do. They cherish violence, right? This is not a normal society. This is a sick society, and he's a suicidal psychopath, which I'm going to provide evidence for from his own mouth. So if he's a loser in life, 70 years old, somewhere around there, and he has no family, he has no friends, 70 years old, he's just got a few more years left on this earth. If he is suicidal, why do you think we're going to sit around and allow him to try to harm others, if not himself, without holding this man accountable? You know, he messed with the wrong one, man. He really did. He messed with the wrong one, because I told him this many years ago, I'm not going to play with you. I'm going to handle this all professionally. You know, he's showing himself off to be some type of immature psychopath. I'm showing myself off to move through the courts professionally. I don't go on my channel back and forth. I don't bring these things up. The only reason why I'm bringing this up now is because I wanted to show you evidence that there was criminal proceeding, there is an active warrant against him, and it's just going to be a matter of time. That's all it is. This man cannot control himself. He's going to continue to create additional criminals that I will be going after, civilly and potentially criminally, because now the police in another state are aware of a few individuals who had committed additional crimes, which I'm not going to say too much. But hey T, how's it going? I was just discussing that uh, yeah, this psychopath that you see on the screen had two hearings today, one for civil rule to show cause and one for criminal misdemeanor, punishable to up to 365 days for violation of a stalking no contact order. He failed to appear. He was summoned to appear. Here's the paperwork on the screen. Let's see. He was summoned to appear in person today at 9 a.m. He did not show up because instead last week he said that nothing is going to happen at this hearing, and he told the court to kiss his ass. So the court is aware that he has been served with this personal service by a deputy sheriff that I paid out of pocket. Additionally, they're aware that he has been served, and they're aware that he said to the court to kiss his ass. On top of that, we're talking about a deranged lunatic here who recorded the court procedures against the rule 1211, which forbids you to unauthorized publication of a Zoom hearing. He published Zoom hearing of when I was pleading to the judge, telling the judge that I was receiving death threats on a daily basis by him and his party. So he goes and makes a mockery out of that, and he publishes that audio on his live stream, making fun of the fact that I'm bringing evidence to the court, proving evidence that I'm receiving death threats via email and publication while there's a court order. He thinks that's funny, that I am receiving death threats. One of the death threats said that they're going to split my neck and that they're going to leave me dead, right? One of them said that all Muslims need to, you know, furthermore, he says that he puts this psychopath that you see on the screen puts his full name on pictures and saying that he wants to unalive me. He's willfully speaking of this psychopathic society for the world to hear, and he's building up an audience that are going to be held responsible for this stuff, man. I'm telling you. T-Bone, I don't know who you are, but since you like to go back and forth to both channels, did it ever cross your mind as a follower of the stalker to maybe, if you follow the stalker, maybe inform the stalker that if there's an active court order against him, to abide by that court order? How is it that the stalker has a good 30 or 40 followers, handicapped and senior citizens, that instead of the reasonable 30 or 40 followers that he has, not one of them could inform him, as they're his friend, to abide by a court order? Instead, they want to help him try to cause a heart attack towards a person who has a court order in place. I mean, when this is all done and said and over with, it's going to be like, what? Were these people in an illusion? Or are these people just that stupid? I mean, the evidence that I have on these people, they're not even aware. So the hearing that I was supposed to have here for the emergency rule to show cause, that one got stricken by accident because I was in the other room. I was in the criminal proceeding. And I informed the deputy sheriff. I checked in. So the judge accidentally stricken my emergency motion today. 1 hour after this psychopath goes on a live stream to confuse his audience, the judge hears me out again and rewrites the order, removes that strike, and reinstates my order. And here it is. Here it is. Where is it at? Yeah, the judge reinstates the order. Here it is. And the judge admits that she made an error. She made a mistake, and she reinstated it. And he doesn't even know he has a warrant for failure to appear. Not only that, there's a court case coming up that he is not even aware of. The minute he leaves his house, now he's in NCIC. This is nationwide and Leeds police portal. The minute he leaves his house and he live streams and he discusses the protected party, anybody, if you hear him speaking about the protected party, you have a right to inform law enforcement that he is threatening and publishing. Here's the court order again. Here's what he's bound by right now as we speak. Man, I tried forgiving this guy so many times. I tried talking with this person. If this individual disrespects the courts, disrespects the judge, disrespects a civil case, disrespects a criminal case, who do you think could control this person? Nobody but himself. And himself, he cannot even control. So this is why they're going to send, he got a warrant. Watch this. I'm not going to say too much. He has no idea. Check this out. Now I should be picking up the phones now and start doing other things, but check this out. Green screen. Yeah, here's the order again. The order clearly says for this person not to harass, not to contact, not to publish, right, against the protected party. Here's the court order. He knows there's a court order, and this is how I know his attorney doesn't care about anything but money, because his attorney obviously doesn't care about him, because he's aware that this guy cannot control himself, and he wants to refer him to a criminal attorney. So it's just money making for them. They don't care if this guy gets jailed or not. Let's pull that bad chicken up back on the screen. Green screen. Check this out. So I see that a warrant was issued for your case. That means if the defendant, meaning the psychopath, Coulter, comes back into the state, he can immediately be arrested and brought to the court. So you see, this is not just in the state of Illinois. This is NCIC is nationwide. So again, tomorrow, if he plans on, or tonight, if he plans on going on a live stream, anybody could pick up the phone and inform law enforcement that he is actively threatening and violating a court order. They will see that he has a warrant against him, and they might even go pick him up from his home. The minute he goes out and starts driving, because he has a habit of driving around and discussing weapons in one sense and discussing death and harassment in another sense, right? So it's like there's something. This guy's a real life danger to society. That's a ticking bomb. He is, right? He cannot control himself. When you hear him speak, he doesn't speak well. He speaks like something is off, really, really, really off. He has a disability. It's forbidden to have weapons when you have a disability, right? He's a drinker. He's disabled when he drinks. That's a disability. Beyond his disability, his charges against him right now is going to take him down dark road, man. Again, I tried so many times speaking with this person. JLT is asking, does he know he has an arrest warrant? I don't know what he thinks or what he knows. If his followers have any sense, maybe they would consult with him and tell him to lay low. If not, he wants to try to think that he's above the law, he's going to find out the hard way that that's not going to work out for him, because here it is again. It's just time. Justice is slow. Justice moves slow. But thank you, Jesus Christ, and thank you, God, for giving me the knowledge and the ability to handle these things in a professional light, and to be able to soon enough expose his entire community. He's gonna cause frauditor troll. He's gonna cause him stuff. He's gonna cause flat douche stuff. He's gonna cause all these criminals that follow him stuff. He's gonna cause them because they are incriminating themselves. I had one guy from Canada say that he wants to tear my sister's life apart on his behalf. You don't sit around and say these things. This guy sits around and says these things about my family on a daily basis, and he has a platform to target and harass my family on a daily basis. What more can I do? I went through the courts. He cannot control himself from civil, therefore he got criminal charges. He now has a warrant against him. Let's see if he can control himself now. By the time he gets arrested, when he gets out of jail, would he be able? I mean, what's wrong with this guy? Why would him and his team want to cause a fatal heart attack towards somebody is the question. Why? What type of human being are you to try to target an individual, you and your little affiliates, that you folks are handicapped and senior citizens? You guys are going to have the biggest expose of sick society that you guys don't even know. You're going to be charged. You're going to be hauled into the courtroom. This has not even started yet. Why is the dates blurred out? The dates are irrelevant. The dates are irrelevant. Here it is. It's on the screen. Today at 9 a.m. for criminal case number 26DV7510. Anybody could go look up this criminal's file right now. If you go to the Cook County website and you type in the people of the state of Illinois versus David Coulter as a defendant, you will see him right now facing criminal charges on the Cook County website, facing criminal and civil. So he showed up to civil case OP 88. He showed up at 11 a.m. for that one, but he failed to appear for the 9 a.m. of the criminal proceeding. So it's a bad call, man, for these people. I just want to give everybody an update, and don't be surprised, guys, and how saddened we're going to be when I expose his followers and what they are doing and how sick and demented these people are. Don't be surprised that these sick creatures live amongst us, and that if some of them are grandparents, that their children and children's children should know about these people's actions. Because I could be a son like anybody. Why is this guy allowed to sit and plot on my death every single day with 10 or 15 of his affiliates, try to plot on my death by means of causing me a heart attack to stress me out, and admit to try to stress me out because it gives me chest pains? Why do you think these people are allowed to go so long to do this? Is because the devil is running this world, and these people are of the devil based on the things they do and say, right? But it's going to come crashing down on them. And this guy that you see on the screen is going to implicate so many people, man. That's really about all it. I'm not going to bring these topic up. I might release a couple community posts in a couple days. I just want to give you guys a timeline to show you what the harassment consists of, but beyond the between the psychopath and that's really about it, because nobody could feel bad for an individual that's willfully telling the courts to kiss his ass. Right after he read the criminal complaint, he went on a live stream, put the criminal complaint on the screen, and told the court to kiss his ass. The court is aware of that statement, and that's attached to his certificate of service, him being served by a sheriff. You should have seen the state's attorneys. He went and confusing his people. Every single time he goes on, every single time after one of these hearings, he goes and manipulates the story. You got that fucking sucker, Real Cool News, that said this psychopath won in court by having a continuance. There's no win in court for these psychopaths. The win is when these individuals have a case study against them to teach society that these sick predators live amongst our society. These sick predators that try to cause heart attacks or death towards innocent people, right? This is a fucking sick culture that these people are doing. And I'm going to expose it all, man. I'm going to expose it all. And it's just crazy how these people function, man. These people have no conscience. They have no fucking integrity, no soul, you know? Did they give you a copy of the warrant? Where can we go see it? You could look everything up online. You go and search. There's 2 cases. You'll be able to pull up. You cannot pull up the civil case online, but you could pull up the criminal case online. The civil case, I think you would only have to be in downtown, in one of their computers. The criminal case, you could look it up now. It might be limited to the attachments. That's what I'm working on next, though, is a writ of attachment. I'm not even going to talk about that right now, but so you could look up the criminal case right now online. If you go to the Cook County website and you type in his name, you're going to see criminal charges. Misdemeanor is punishable up to 365 days. He's facing that type of sentence right now. You should have heard the district attorneys when I showed them this type of evidence. They're like, oh yeah, they thought this guy is unstoppable. He's not going to be unstoppable when guys with guns come knocking on his door, right? It's like, they're like, what's really, yeah, they're looking at this guy like something is off with him. When he's openly speaking that he wants to cause me a heart attack and constantly harasses me because it gives me chest pains. When he said the other day that we need to push him in Lake Michigan and hold him down in there, that's a threat against my life. You stupid psychopath, you're not going to get away with this stuff. You should just watch yourself and govern yourself accordingly, because I'm the wrong person you're going to mess with. I'm the worst person you are going to mess with. You lost. You will continue to lose. I took his channel partially. I took his main channel because he kept harassing me on his main channel, so YouTube demonetized him on his main channel. A couple years ago, he did not learn his lesson. He gets this channel partially blocked. He didn't learn his lesson. He gets a civil case against him. He doesn't learn his lesson. Now he has criminal case against him and warrant. He's not aware of his lesson. Now his friends are going to take criminal charges, I promise you, and I swear to God that I'm going to run him through the courts. He's not going to learn his lesson. He's going to be in a jail behind the cell. He's going to have a lot of time to think about this type of society that he's pushing. It's a sick, evil society that he's not going to get away with. None of his people are going to get away with this stuff. They're all going to be fully exposed, man. I'm telling you. And that's really about it, man. You wait and see what's coming up next. Other than that, man, I keep all these people in prayer. You know, hopefully his followers would find out that this is something very bad that's coming up their hill. I got Discord messages. I'm still in their Discord and they're not even aware of it, man. I got messages from two individuals, actually three individuals, one from New York who had admittingly damaged my phone. Um, oh, admittedly damaged my phone. And then another two individuals who admittedly damaged my phone as well. And they think this is normal behavior, you know? They think this stuff is normal behavior. You know, this guy decided that he wanted to come to a guy named Audit Dem. He wanted to come and try to cause me death and continues to think that's normal. Continues to this guy is such a psychopath that he would put his full name, he would put his name, David Coulter wants to unalive. He'll put a picture of me and then he would put his name at the top and say that he wants to unalive me. So he's telling the world his intentions. He's telling the world that his intentions, that he wants to try to murder somebody. And he thinks that this is he thinks that because his followers enjoy this type of rhetoric, they think I deserve his alleged harassment to death, heart attack, because allegedly I called David Coulter a rapist 4 years ago, which I said that I didn't think that was him, but he insisted that that was him. You know? So that's what I'm saying, man. It's just, these are sick fucking people. Did he say why? No, he doesn't say why. He doesn't. It's just like you can't get a clear answer from this guy. You cannot even have a... I don't know how nobody in his channel has the sense to sit there and have a reasonable conversation with him. Here's that fucking Real Cool News idiot. His voice sounds good. Real Cool News doesn't have the decency or none of these followers, none of his people, or none of these channels have the fucking wherewithal to ask this guy direct questions. Hey, what did Audit Dem do to you? Why do you want to cause Audit Dem a heart attack? Ask him this question directly. Why is it that you continue to say every day that you want to push him and hold him in the lake? Why do you want to cause Audit Dem death? Is it because he allegedly thought you were the rapist 4 years ago? Or is it because he called the fire department and told him that you had a cache of weapons after harassing this man? You know, this guy came and interfered into my business, and it's going to be the worst decision he ever made in his life. Anyway, I'm signing out. The one who encourages you to audit them. Somebody should go talk to him directly. Ask him the real question. Stop dodging stuff, because that's going to get you in trouble. I'm the worst person he messed with in his entire life, because the thing he said about me, it just make him look so trashy. So trashy. You know, it makes him look like a real fucking psychopath. And his people. But I told you, I'm the worst one he's gonna mess with, man. The one who encourages you. I'm standing up for them all. Audit them.